Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Mechanic Meditations. We've taken a very short, extended hiatus, but hey, we're back. So this is episode number 7, video number 7. So this video is going to be about fleet shops versus dealerships. I would include independent shops, but I've never worked at a independent shop myself. So, but I did work at a dealer for 10 years, and I've been at a fleet shop, a government fleet shop, for 3.5, 3.5, 3.5, since October of 2018. So, hold on one sec. So, there the two types of shop that I've worked for anyway, are extremely different in terms of mindset. When I started at the dealer, I worked at the dealer first. I got a job at the dealer as a apprentice slash loop tech. It was apprentice first, and then it kind of developed into being a loop tech. And then I broke out of the lube tech apprentice role and went on my own as a flat rate technician. Um, at the dealership, it's very, and I'm going to say this is the same at an independent shop as well, in terms of personal ambition. I went to the dealership. I went to the dealership because I was ambitious, personally ambitious. I wanted to become a mechanic, and I was working at Home Depot at the time. I was working retail, and I wanted to get the hell out of retail. Everybody needs to work retail one or 2 years of their life just to know how absolutely terrible the human race can be in terms of clientele, but if you're still working retail well into your 30s, 40s, 50s, if you like it, okay. If you can make a living at it, okay. Whatever. But personally, I did not want to be in retail for the rest of my life. So I went into auto repair, and I got a job at the dealership through a job fair. I went to the dealership, met the service manager, who came to the job fair and introduced himself and the company. It was just a single company job fair, like a sponsorship through the college that I went through, and I gave him a firm handshake and I looked him straight in the eye. But this was back when you could actually still do that, and he walked me around to all the shop, I met with a bunch of the technicians, said hi, hello, and then he basically offered me the job. But so I kind of fell into the role. I thought I was gonna have to interview more, but I got the job pretty much offered to me within a week, and it was the ambition for me to actually go do it, which I'm talking about here. If you're starting off as a mechanic and you want to improve, you have that internal drive. You have that little voice. Not even really a voice. It's a feeling inside of your heart and in the back of your head that says to you, or that makes you feel that if you're not doing something up to your own expectations, it's going to make you feel bad. And that is kind of the expectation of, or the impetus behind a dealership role. Or at least when you start off in a dealership or an independent shop, you want to become better. You want to be the best that you can possibly be. So, and I'm not saying that fleet mechanics are not like that, but it's a different kind of deal, and we'll talk about that. So when I worked at the dealership, those first few years, I was absorbing information like crazy. I was looking up stuff online. I was reading all the magazines. I was watching YouTube videos. I got hooked on Eric the Car Guy. Shout out to Eric the Car Guy. I actually met Eric the Car Guy in Hollywood when he came out for the first time. Really cool dude. I got really drunk that night. I don't know if he did, but yeah, that was a fun night. We met at Barney's Beanery, so that was a good meetup. But I was watching all this stuff and reading all this stuff and learning all this stuff. There were times when I would stay late, but I still believe that you owe your employer however many hours you're contracted for. So if you're 8 to 5, once 5 o'clock hits, if there's nothing really pressing that needs to be done, just go home, bro. Life is too short to give your time to somebody, to an employer that doesn't really appreciate it. So that came from the retail world, and I still hold to it today. If a job needs to get done, you need to do it. You need to get it done. Stay late, get it done. But don't give anybody more of your time than is necessary, because you can't get that back. And as the years rolled on, I still kept that I'm not doing enough, or no, I'm not living up to my own expectations. And I kept going, what can I learn? How can I learn it faster? How can I apply this to become better? How can I apply like a brake concern to a drivability concern? Because, okay, you may not think that they're interrelated, but sometimes they are. And like, you have to think about this stuff. You have to connect these things. And I became really... I was good at it. I wasn't top tier. I know I'm not the top tier mechanic. I'm not some sort of automotive wizard. But I'm smart. And I could figure my way out of a paper bag. And given enough time and resources, all problems are fixable. So that was kind of my philosophy. Like, I may not know it, I may not be perfect at it, but I'm going to grind at it until I get it right, until it's fixed. And that served me very well during the dealership years. There was a few years where it was like, screw this, I hate this, whatever. But still, that kind of feeling of, I gotta fix this, I gotta get it right, because if I don't, it's going to bug me on a spiritual level, and fix the problem, get it back up. And then the last 3 years that I was at the dealer, after I took a unplanned medical sabbatical and got my mind right a little bit, stuff started to really turn around. I was turning hours like crazy. I was like 100 hours most paychecks, whereas before my sabbatical, I was probably about, out of an 80-hour pay period, I'd be like 70, 75, because I did get a lot of warranty electrical work too, so that was kind of a pain in the butt. But afterward, it really clicked in my head, and then I'm turning 90, 100, 110, 120 hour pay periods, and really putting in that kind of work ethic and grind mentality. And then, but it started to wear on me. Like, I was still there. I was at the dealer 7 to 4, Monday through Friday. I changed my hours to 7 to 4 instead of 8 to 5 because traffic in Southern California is terrible at 5 o'clock. So I'm like, screw this. I want to go home a little bit early, so I'll come in an hour earlier. And I was still working 5 days a week, sometimes 6 because of Saturdays. But usually if I had to work a Saturday, I would take the preceding Monday off, so I got some time to myself. Because one of the big things when you're working at a dealer is you don't have a lot of time to yourself. You are putting in a lot of hours. Even if you just work what I did, the contracted hours, 7 to 4 or 8 to 5 or whatever your schedule is. You know, you're putting in an 8-hour day plus 1 hour unpaid for lunch, so that's a 9-hour day. Then you add in your commute, minimum 30 minutes each way, so that's another hour. That's 10-hour day. Here in California, Southern California, some guys have a one-way commute of an hour or an hour and a half. I think those people are nuts. My absolute limit is an hour, and that's if traffic is bad. If traffic's not bad, it needs to be no more than 30 minutes. But I guess you're spoiled. Okay, yeah, maybe I am. But, you know, why put up with that if you don't have to? So, but getting back to the hours, you're putting in an 8-hour day for your employer, and then between a minimum of 1 for your lunch, and then an additional hour, maybe 2 or even 3 for your commute. So that 8-hour day becomes a 10 to 12-hour day. Where the hell do you find time for you? And if you have to work weekends, or if you decide you're going to do overtime at the job every day in order to make money, well, if you have to put in overtime in order to make enough money to live, you are underpaid. So you need to either go find a better paying job or move to a area with lower cost of living, same pay, and enjoy your life. We only get one life. Spend as much time as you can on yourself and your family. Don't give it to work. So this video is really two kind of things in one. I'm talking about Fleet, and I haven't even gotten to Fleet. So that was the dealer thing. I was putting in a ton of time, at least in my perspective, a ton of time at the dealer. Yes, okay. On Friday evenings, my girlfriend and I didn't really hang out on Fridays because she was also going to college and in grad school, and we would hang out on Saturdays and Saturday evenings instead of Fridays. But so at Fridays, I would stay late after my shift and start cleaning up my area, getting it ready for the following Monday or following Tuesday if I worked that Saturday. And there were some nights that I would stay 8, 9, 10 o'clock cleaning up, getting everything ready. Part of it I did enjoy. There were some nights where I stayed 7, 8, 9 o'clock fixing cars. There was one time that it was the first Grand Cherokee evaporator I did, the first new 2011 Grand Cherokee, the WK evaporator that I did, and it was such a pain. I didn't know the tricks. This was the first one I did, and I didn't know certain things, and I separated the steering column from the intermediate shaft, and it wouldn't go back on, and I was fighting that thing for at least an hour, and it drove me to literal tears because it was so frustrating. And I was there until 9:30 at night fighting this thing, and I finally had to go home with the job unfinished because I mentally and emotionally I could not deal with it anymore. And there are jobs like that. You will get jobs like that at the dealer. You will get jobs like that at the independent shop, that you are struggling to get it done, and the car is just fighting you, and you are well past your emotional limit, and it will destroy you emotionally. You just have to go home. You absolutely just have to go home and relax. Take a shower, have some food, whatever, and sleep. And then come back in and try to do it again later. So that is the kind of job that you're going to get at the dealer, because you have this pressure. You have a massive amount of pressure on you. One, to get the car done because the customer wants their car back, and you have 17 other jobs lined up behind it, and all those customers want their car back. And then 2, the pressure of you have to make hours, you have to make money in order to survive. And it's a lot of mechanics okay, they don't go crazy, but they turn mental. They get real feisty. They get real short on temper. I got real short on temper. People, if anybody wasted my minutes, because I timed things down to the minute back when I was at the dealer, if they wasted my minutes, I flew off the handle. And mechanics are very, very, very time sensitive. So that's what the job does to a mechanic. It does to a person. When you work at a fleet shop, or no, excuse me, when you work at a dealership, and I'm assuming also at an independent, you have a little bit more leeway at an independent, I would imagine, but you're still under that time crunch because the shop needs to get the car out. Even if you are paid hourly at an independent, the shop needs to get out. So, the dealership is a very hustle bustle, get it done, get it done, get it done, crank it out kind of environment. And I really do like it. I like that environment because it's, I don't know if it's an adaptation in my mind or if I've always been this way. I think I've mostly always been this way. It's something new every day, and you have the pressure of getting it done quickly, and you become you start seeing it as kind of a competition with yourself. How fast can I get that done? Okay, I did that radiator in 3.1 hours last time. Let's see if we can get it down to 2.9. And you start doing this stuff and competing with yourself in your head and coming up with new ways to lay out your tools, ways of approaching the job, that kind of stuff in order to be as efficient as possible. You make it a game, and I like that. I do like that kind of challenge. Now, spent 17 minutes talking about that. I left the dealership in 2018. Went to the fleet, government fleet. It is a longer shift, but fewer days. At the dealership, I was working 5/8, so 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. At the fleet, it's 4/10s, 4 days a week, 10 hours a day. There's not as much pressure to get the jobs out. There is some. It's like, okay, the operator needs their truck back, but we have loaners. We have trucks in our motor pool that we can give an operator if we need their truck. Basically like a rental, but we own the rental. And we don't have to sell anything to the customer. There is no customer. We are the customer. We are both the servicer and the customer. We have a virtually unlimited budget because we are government. I've never worked at a private fleet like a rental car company or a utility like the power company or the gas company. I work for government. That level of pressure was at the dealer. It was 100 psi, let's just say, in a pressure cooker. It now came down to about 5 in the space of 2 weeks. I moved all my crap out of the dealership. I got it set up at the fleet shop. I had a few days off, and then I started work at the fleet shop. And suddenly, I remember my first few days there. I'm walking around the plant because I work at a government utility, public utility, and everybody's happy, and everybody says, "Hey, hi, well, good to meet you. Welcome aboard." And at a dealership, when you get hired at a dealership, all the techs that have been there for years, they're eyeing you. They're fucking side eyeing you, and going, "What's this guy? This guy's gonna take my hours. This guy's the enemy. I need to watch this guy." But here at the fleet, I'm like, it's, "Hi, Great to have you. Total culture shock. As I start working on the car or the vehicles at the fleet, it's mostly Ford trucks. It's some Toyotas. We have a small handful of Chevys, and if it's anything more complicated than I did a differential, not quite rebuild, but I did like seals and stuff, and we did that. But if it's a engine or a transmission, I've done a couple, but we send it out. I'm basically a loop tech again that can also handle heavy duty stuff, but I'm also now doing generators, small pumps, heavy equipment. I do work on John Deere and Case and Caterpillar, not to the extent as one of my so I'm like light duty. One of my coworkers is the heavy duty equipment guy. He does all the hydraulics and stuff like that. I do services on these things. I grease the circuit fittings. I do oil changes. I do batteries, that kind of stuff. And it's such a culture shock. It took 18 months for me to decompress from the dealership because I was at 100 psi running full bore all the time. Get it done, get it done, get it done, get it done. How much work? Yeah, is there any more work? Where's the work? I need more work. Give me more work. And sometimes there was not any more work. There's nothing to do. And even if you look, there's nothing to do. So this was a major adjustment, and that's what I'm trying to get at. At least with government. I don't know how it is with the other private fleets. There's probably always something to do with private fleet. But you have to think. You become way more laid back. You can see my hair is actually it's thicker. You guys have probably never seen me with short hair. Go on my other channel, Pollo Destino, and you can see some of my stuff or early videos on this channel. You'll see me with short hair. Like my hair's gotten thicker. I've gotten fatter. If you look at my very first video, my face is a little bit thinner. The stress it's not gone, but it's different. And now I have time. I have 3-day weekends every weekend, other than my side job. When my side job was in business, or when I was working Friday mornings on my side job, I'd have 2.5 days. But still, I enjoyed doing my side job, so I didn't quite consider it work. You get time when you're on a fleet. You punch in at the same time every day. You punch out at the same time every day. You don't have to worry about a car going out the next day most of the time. Sometimes you do have to work a little bit of overtime. But it's rare. And the level of stress is just so reduced. And I really like it. I really like working at a fleet. But I'm still in that mode of, it's got to be work. Let's work. Give me work. I want to make more hours. And I don't think I'm ever going to grow out of that. I don't think we're ever going to eliminate that from my psyche, because I do that on the weekends. I gotta get stuff done. I'm not type A, like type capital A. I call myself type lowercase a. Because I'm not in your face. I'm not get it done, get it done. But I'm still driven to do stuff. And if you are that kind of person where you absolutely have to have some sort of challenge or some sort of obstacle to get over. It might be best if you were in some sort of dealership or independent shop. If you're more, hey, I want a lot of my time to myself. I want my non-work time to be mine instead of the employers or the jobs, then a fleet shop might be better. They also have way better benefits. Like, okay, yeah, I'm a little special because I work for the government, but private fleets typically have way better benefits for than dealerships. We'll talk. I'm gonna do a video on benefits and pay stuff because that's absolutely important. You Mechanics are underpaid. I Even with the market going up and the wages going up, like we're still underpaid. So, well, that'll be another video. I've gone 26 minutes. This is, I think, my longest video. So, this has been. I hope this has been kind of enlightening, eye-opening for fleet versus dealership, that kind of stuff. Please leave a comment down in the doodly-doo, and we will see you on the next one. Take it easy.